Hey everybody, Cat Matt here, coming to you this morning with a quick little video. It's actually going to be part one of part two. I'll do part two live from the boat here very soon. It's just a little video I wanted to do to touch on the use of cheese bait. You know, in the northern part of the country, cheese baits, even the center part of the country, cheese baits used quite a bit. You know, in your big tournaments in the south, the blue cats and stuff, you don't see it so much. But in the northern part of the country, you know, it's not only common, but it's very effective. So I think what people struggle with the most, and what I always struggled with the most, was the consistency of the bait. It wasn't that I didn't know how to use it per se. It was just like anything else, the small little details. The number one detail to making a bait, and again, I use G&S Cheesebait. We've been sponsored by G&S Cheesebait for years. G&S Cheesebait out of Milledgeville. There's their phone number. They have a Facebook page. This is great stuff. Wins lots of tournaments up here, fishing against guys that are using cut bait, live bait, and everything else. So don't discount how good cheesebait can be. But again, the most important part of cheese bait is consistency, and it's taken, you know, it took me a lot of years to understand that after fishing with a lot of fine folks from G&S Cheesebait, Dave and Ron Geary, and Corey Deal and Jeremy Deal, and all of the Bruce and Brian Simpson, and the list goes on and on. Lots of great people that use G&S Cheesebait. You know, consistency is where it's at. You know, and the most common question I think you get about cheese bait is, what do I do when it's too hard? You know, I can't get my dip bait worm in there and get it fully coated and get the worm itself full of bait. It's too hard. And then again, on the same circumstance, what do I do when it's too runny? Well, today I'm not going to demonstrate a whole lot. I'm going to tell you what you can do. In the next video, I'm going to demonstrate. So what I like to do, today it's 31 degrees outside. The water temperature is in the upper 40s. We're going to use cheese bait today. Now I know if I soften the cheese bait up, I know when that bait hits the water, it's going to firm up some. But what I do on a day like today, and like again, this is just going to be the introduction video. Take the lid off my G&S, and this is what you're going to look like. Now this, I brought this inside last night so that I didn't have a block of cheese bait from top to bottom, right? So you can see I'm squeezing this. It's fairly soft. It's not quite ready to use yet. So now you can use water, you can use oil. I'm sure there's some other people out there with some other real clever ways of doing this, but all I'm going to do before I go is I squeezed it up and I got it kind of, the edges broken up. And then I am going to cover it with oil. So what I have done is I've added vegetable oil to the top, and I broke it away from the side so it could soak down in there. So now I have my oil in there. What the oil will do is it'll help soften it and make it very sticky. That's the way I prefer to do it. Again, if you ask 10 guys, you're going to get 4 or 5 different answers. A lot of guys just like to use river water. You know, and I'm like, again, I'm sure there's some other tricky ways out there that people do this. A lot of guys will keep maybe a little heater in their boat and keep a bucket close to a little propane heater to keep it warm so it doesn't harden up when it's cold. And then again, vice versa to that, you can add flour to thicken it back up, or what I've been doing the last couple of years, and again, I know a lot of guys are more advanced that have been doing it longer than me, is I carry my cooler with ice. And on really warm, hot, sunny days, I keep the bait sitting on top of ice in a cooler. I just open it when I need it, and that ice cools the bait and keeps it from getting runny in 80 or 90 degree weather. So those are the two main ways as far as cold and hot that you can mix your bait. You want your bait about the consistency of a milkshake. Now, I could get up and go grab one of them wooden spoons over there, but I would be risking life and limb when my wife found out that I had used one of her wooden spoons. But on the next part of this video, when I get a chance to do it, I'm actually going to take the bait in the boat, mix it up, show what it looks like when it's right on a worm, and all that good stuff so that you can actually see it. But as the introductory video, so again, this is my G&S Cheesebait. I, again, brought it in last night. I let it soften up overnight. And then I added some oil, and I'm just going to put the lid on it. And I got about a half an hour before my clients get here. And then I'll take it out, and we'll travel to the boat ramp. And then when I get in the boat, I'll get my wooden spoon out, and I will mix her up. I carry a little bottle of oil in my boat. If I need a little more, I'll have it. And again, like I said, vice versa. If it's super hot and you're worried about your bait getting runny, then all you have to do is, you can take a cooler of ice, or you can take a bag of flour, keep that in your boat. Flour will help thicken it up. I think the main thing is people like to, break it down from its original form as little as possible. So I think a lot of guys would just stick to water and maybe a little flour, depending on whether it's hard or soft. I like the pastiness that the oil gives it, so I prefer to use oil, and it's been effective. And I've become a better cheesebait fisherman over the last several years, thanks to a lot of help from the owners of the company, the Gearys and whatnot. But it takes time. A lot of people buy cheesebait and they don't really know how to use it, and they rub a little on a worm, so to speak, and they throw it in the water and they don't catch it, and they think, well, that cheesebait didn't work very well. Well, even with cheesebait, something as simple as cheesebait, there's right ways to use it and wrong ways to use it. So hopefully this video gives you a little insight into the world of cheesebait fishing. Again, I want to thank G&S Cheesebait for all the years of support. If you're looking for G&S Cheesebait, they have a website now. You can find all the information you need on the G&S Cheesebait Facebook page. You'll find their phone numbers. You'll find the links to their website. They do ship bait now, so you can find all that information right there. So thank you all very much for watching this. Very soon I'll come out with a video, and we'll show you how to dip the worm, get it coated, all the good stuff that I have talked about. So for the time being, go out and get yourself some G&S Cheesebait. And do not be afraid to use don't be afraid to use cheesebait. The rumors of all you're going to catch is 13 and 14-inch channel cat are completely untrue. You can catch a lot of big fish on cheesebait. So get out there, get you some. Watch this video. If you've watched this video, thank you, and I'll come out with another video and show you exactly the things I have talked about in this video at a later date. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.